of Israel. Now, my question to you was, if I'm coming and claiming in front of the crowd that Jesus is the Messiah and he has a divine power, and I'm bringing in my book a quote that he warned his students, those were his original followers, which are much better than the followers today, 2,000 years later. And he told them, be careful not to ever modify the Torah. And not only that, there's one thing I did not mention, but this is one more sentence that he told them. He told them clearly over there, everything the rabbis, Chazal, the sages, the Prushim are telling you, you must do. So we find from here not only that he admits that the written Torah is the truth of God, the oral Torah, which were passed from generation to generation, are 100% valid, and he warned his students not to change. Now we have a serious problem. Because as you already directed us that no one is allowed to change or to modify the Torah in any way, and if he does such a thing and teach to others, he will be cursed by God, we come to a series of problems that apply to him himself. Some of the things, first of all, it's like this. He comes and say, through the entire New Testament, he called himself like a regular human being. And not only that, when one time he said, Son of God, the crowd wanted to stone him to death. And he said, what do you want? All the Jews called the sons of God. As the Torah says, Banim atem laHashem Elokechem. You are the children of God. I chose you from all the nation to be my nation. So I'm only one of them. He did not answer, I am a special son of God, different than all the Jews. What do you want from me? I'm one of them. But I'm nothing different than all the other Jews. That's my understanding from that. So my question to you was, just to make it sharp to the point. The point is instructions, and everything you're going to speak in the next hour or the next year here, it's irrelevant because you are not following his instructions. And if he's your hero, and if he's the Messiah, and if your future depends in his hand, how do you not obey his will to his students, his instruction to his students? That was my question, but before I finish the question, I would like to ask you something that relates to it, and this is it. In the beginning of the book of Matthew, chapter 1, for those who do not know the story of the New Testament, this is how it starts. There's a person, Joseph, he meets a woman named Miriam, Joseph and Miriam, Joseph and Mary, Yusuf, it depends on how you want to call it, but it's the same person. Joseph, he got engaged with Miriam, two Jews, two regular Jews. He got engaged. In the old days, the engagement used to take place, and a few months later, the chuppah and moving together were taking place only a few months later. When he comes back later, he finds out that his fiancée, remember, fiancé is not today, like you give her a ring and it's over. Fiancé means they already had kiddushin. He put a ring on her hand. She is already eshet ish, almost 100%, with some changes. And he comes back and he finds that she is pregnant, knowing he never touched her. When he asked the question, obviously she needed to save her life. Because in the old days, they did not give reward to prostitutes or to people who will do something against their husbands. So what did she tell him? God came to me and made me pregnant, and this is from the Holy Spirit. And later, of course, the story is that he's going to become the Messiah. My question to you is like this. I'm going to read the beginning of the book of Matthew. Matthew is one of the 4 books. They have Matthew, John, Luke, and Mark. And obviously, if it's...
Can I just interrupt, Joseph?
Yes, please.
Joseph, you've already issued about 5 questions. Would you like to give me an opportunity to address some of those things first?
If yes, just let me well, it's all one question actually, because I'm not going to different 5 subjects. I mean...
It sounds like it, though, because I have it broken up into a number of different parts.
Well, so just allow me to finish that and then take your time. Okay, so The book of Matthew and the other 3 books are claimed to be given from a divine origin. And I remember my